أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إلا تنصروه فقد نصره الله إذ أخرجه الذين كفروا ثاني اثنين إذ هما في الغار إذ يقول لصاحبه لا تحزن إن الله معنا. Yesterday we had discussed the Hijrat of Rasulullah Salallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and we came to the point where we mentioned that Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam left his home in the late hours of the night. He read the verses of Surah Yasin, he threw a handful of sand, and he went to the home of Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala. There the daughter of Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala had prepared breakfast for them, and she had given this to them in some type of a tiffin, lunchbox, whatever it must have been. She had given it to Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. The son of Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala, Abdullah, he would come every day and inform them what the Quraysh are discussing. The slave of Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala, Amir bin Fuhaira, he would come and he would serve hot milk to them on a daily basis. And they had a guide also that was guiding them on their way towards Madinatul Munawwara. It is mentioned that when Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala, he came to the cave, then he told Nabi alayhi salam, you stand outside. And he went inside, he cleaned that entire cave for Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He went in with 2 pieces of cloth on his body, he came out with 1 piece of cloth. The 1 piece of cloth he had torn into pieces, and he filled up all the holes that no harm must come to Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. That is why Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala used to say that 1 day and 1 night of Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala is more superior than the entire life of Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala. Whatever amal he did in his entire life, just this 1 day and 1 night is more superior. Which day was he referring to and which night was he referring to? The night that he was referring to is this night of Hijrat, when he left with Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and they came to the cave of Thawr. So this is the night that he was referring to. And which day was he referring to? He was referring to the day when Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam left the world, when he passed away. At that time the various tribes of the Arabs, they stood up and they said that we're not prepared to pay zakat. Zakat must only be paid to Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Quran says, "Khudh min amwalihim sadaqah." O Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, you take sadaqah, you take zakat from their wealth. So the various tribes of the Arabs, they said that no, we're not prepared to pay zakat. Nabi Alayhi Salam is not here. At that time, Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala said that even if you have to hold back 1 string, then I will make jihad against you, which you had to discharge in zakat. So Umar radiallahu ta'ala came as a well-wisher to Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala. And what he tells Abu Bakr radiallahu that, oh Abu Bakr, that be a bit soft with the people. Nabi alayhi salam has just passed away. Why are you being so hard? So what Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala told Umar radiallahu ta'ala, Jabbarun fil jahiliyyah, Khuwarun fil Islam. In the days of Jahiliyyah, you were a very, very brave man. You were prepared to fight. Now when the days of Islam came, you became a coward. People do not want to pay zakat and you're telling me to take it easy. So he says, this is the day of Hazrat Umar, of Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala, which is much more superior than Umar radiallahu ta'ala's entire life of amal. So nevertheless, then Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam went into that cave. And which we had discussed earlier on, that the guides or the feet trackers, they came right up to the mouth of the cave. When they came to the mouth of the cave, they said that definitely Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala and Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is inside the cave. But the kuffar that were with them, when they saw the spider's web, they made those trackers like fools. They said, how can somebody be inside here? Can't you see there's a spider's web? This was Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala's plan. وَمَكَرُوا وَمَكَرَ اللَّهِ. They make their plans, Allah makes His plan. Wallahu khairul makirin. Allah is the best of planners. You place your hands, your trust in the hands of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. When they saw now that they cannot find Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, then the kuffar said, 200 camels we will give to that person that can bring Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam to us. Capture him, bring him to us, we will give you 200 camels. It is mentioned Suraqa bin Malik radiallahu ta'ala, later on, at that time he wasn't a Muslim, later on he accepted Islam. He got onto his horse and immediately he went in search of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam for the 200 camels. And many others also, they went in search of Nabi Alayhi Salam. They were getting 200 camels. So it is mentioned Suraqa bin Malik came very close to Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. As he came to Nabi Alayhi Salatu Wasalam, Allah Ta'ala made it such that the ground gripped his horse and the half of the body of the horse went into the ground. When it went into the ground, Nabi alayhi salam was just ahead. So he screamed for Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam and he said, Ya Rasulullah, please, I seek protection from you. Even at that stage, he comes to capture Nabi alayhi salam. Nabi alayhi salam gives him aman, gives him protection. No problem. And he returns back. but he accepted Islam and he returned back to Makkah al-Mukarramah. It is mentioned on the way also, Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam required food. They went to one place, the home of Ma'bad, the tent of Ma'bad. She was a very, very hospitable woman, elderly person. So when they went there, Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam went in with the intention to buy some dates and to buy some meat. But when he went in, no dates to be found, no meat to be found. All that was there was just one goat, and a very, very thin goat also. So he asked Ma'bad that, is there any milk in this goat? She said, there is no milk whatsoever. So then he asked the permission. He said, give me permission, let me milk this goat. So she gave that goat over to Nabi alayhi salam. It is mentioned Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam placed his Mubarak hand on that goat and he started milking the goat. Milk came, he derived milk, he milked it, so much of milk came out that 8 to 10 people could drink from there. So he takes first and he gives Ma'bad. He says that you drink. She drank first. Then he gives all the companions that were there. And then last Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam drank. When all of them were over, Nabi alayhi salam milked it again and he filled that container for 8 to 10 people. So much of milk came out again and he left the milk over there. Ma'bad, she took bay'at to Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. After pledging allegiance, taking bay'at to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Nabi alayhi salam departed. When Abu Ma'bad came in the evening, he came with all his animals. He had gone out grazing. He said, where did all this milk come from? So then she explained that one pious man came here today and this is the milk that we have derived. So then he said, explain the description of this man. When she explained the description of Nabi alayhi salam, he says, that's the man I'm in search of also. He went in search of Nabi alayhi salam, but he didn't find Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. On this occasion also, Burayda Aslami radiallahu ta'ala, together with 70 people, they had all accepted Islam. And it is mentioned the people of Medina, every day they used to come out to a place called Harra. They used to wait in Harra every day, right up to noon, waiting for Nabi alayhi salam. But when Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam would not come by noontime, then they would return back to Madinatul Munawwara. So one day they returned to Medina Sharif, and one Yahudi, he was on a hill. He saw Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam from a distance. When he saw Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, then he screamed out to the people of Medina that, Ya Bani Qayla, Ya Bani Qayla, Hada Jaddukum, O Bani Qayla, yeah, your grandfather has come. It is mentioned the Ansar all said Allahu Akbar, to such an extent that in the tribes of Banu Amr and other tribes, in their locality, the takbir, the name of Allah Ta'ala had echoed. And then they all came out and they received Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. And the first thing that Nabi alayhi salam did, when he had just come to Quba, which is 3 miles out of Madinatul Munawwara, the first thing that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam did here, he built the masjid. It is mentioned he took a stone and he placed the stone. Abu Bakr radiallahu took a stone and he placed the stone. Umar radiallahu ta'ala took and then he placed a stone. And then the rest of the Sahaba, they placed stones. And finally this first masjid was built in Quba. We'll continue from here.